I'm going to start with peace because a few people have mentioned that. And this is not my language, so I looked it up before I got here. And what I found was a beautiful set of words. Freedom from war, freedom from strife, freedom from conditions which annoy the mind. And I think that's the foundation or the end run. If we have justice, we shall have peace. My people have been around for thousands upon thousands of years. And I have to tell you that there are some things about the nature of this country that annoy my mind. We needed an indigenous philosophy, and this is simply it. That we are guests on this land.
That's right.
We are guests, thank you, Hajka. And that we are borrowing what we use, and we must return what we use. I was listening to a little talk on the date show of the Northwest Territories, and the government said they'd give them a big tract of land as their original territory. Then they found out they didn't want to mine emeralds, and they reduced the tract to exclude the emeralds. And that's what's been happening all along. We can't put emeralds back, we can't put uranium back, we can't put oil back. And when you drag out all the water, not all of it goes back. So we need to have a sensibility that says, it annoys my mind the way we do business. It annoys my mind that the continued rape and plunder of humans and earth continues. We have to stop making war on this land. And I know someone mentioned technology, and I agree with that, but I don't think that that's the only problem. If you go into a grocery store, 90% of it is non-nourishing, consumable products that create ill health. And that definitely annoys my mind. In our way of doing things, an indigenous way of doing things is this. You can have your thinking that's different from mine, as long as we're doing the same thing. As long as we agree to struggle for climate justice personally and socially, then you can have whatever thinking you want. You can be a scientist, sir. I don't know anything much about science, but I'm sure that we're going to get together and do something in common. So that's one thing. The second thing is we organize ourselves socially, but we also take personal responsibility. And here's from my history. My mother was this crazy woman in my block in the 50s that used to bury her garbage, go fight with the butcher not to get a plastic wrap and a styrofoam wrap, and go over here and argue with somebody, and we had to go pick berries, we couldn't just go buy them. And what didn't grow in our territory, we did not consume. And I used to tell her, Mom, we live in the city, my reservation is the middle of North Vancouver, BC. Get a garbage can, and they throw it away. She told me that there was no place called away. There is no place called away. And I want to tell you too that there's 1,400 toxic waste dumps in this country. And some change, probably 1,408, I don't know. But it's over 1,400, and 70% of those are on reservations. We gave up Sanok, which just means our garden, False Creek, in 1927 because it was a toxic waste dump. And now they want to give us money. And we don't want the money. We want to eliminate, first of all, toxic waste dumps. And we want a place to live. That is the kind of place that we want our grandchildren to inherit. The kind of place that we can continue to love love. You cannot love a coal plant. You cannot love a nuclear plant. You cannot love dragging uranium out of the mine. You cannot love clear cutting on the West Coast. And I have to say, when I first became an environmentalist, everybody used to refer to them as Bambi freaks and tree huggers. And I have to say that I was one of them until I went to the West Coast and saw the absolute rape of those mountains. There is drought on the west coast of Vancouver Island in a rainforest of 200 inches. And I have to say that I became the tree hugger and the Bambi freak, because I couldn't believe what had happened to our territory. And that's in this country, where they hide things from you, where they engage in an absolute denial of any wrongdoing or any sense of discourtesy to land, to humans, and to animals, and so on. I know what they've done. I know what they've done, and I cannot find peace until we restore the land to its greatness. The earth shouldn't have to run around naked with holes all over the place for our aggrandizement. It isn't just the technology, it's everyone owning 60 t-shirts from Walmart. It's all of us buying discs and CDs and tapes instead of singing. Yeah, I grew up in a family that sang every Friday. And now we go and turn a radio on, and we turn a television on, or we put a CD in our computer, or we plug into one of those, I don't even know what they're called, those things that you have little... iPods, thank you. I don't know what they are. Or we watch television instead of engaging each other. We have to take personal responsibility as well as social responsibility. There's all kinds of things we can do personally. There's all kinds of things that we can do severally. But the thing I'm asking for is an Indigenous way of organizing. And it's simply this. Let's not argue ideology. Let's not hiss because someone's from this group or that group. Let's just decide what we're willing to do together. Let's put our little agendas aside. My thoughts are better than your thoughts. My ideas are better than your ideas. I'm smarter than you. Let's put all those things aside and decide what we're going to do, and then engage each other in the doing. Because I tell you this, that people come to love each other through doing things together, not because of good thoughts. Let's stop thinking that somehow the privilege that's been accorded us is our right. The last thing I want to say is let's take more personal responsibility for our health. Because I believe that Western medicine is really about recycling body parts and cutting things out. That the earth gave us everything we need to have a good life. And if by some strange misfortune I end up sick, I am not going to ask someone else to give me a spare part. I'm going out the way I came in. That's just me personally. And I'm not going to go to Western doctors for a quick fix. Cut out the problem. Put in a new kneecap or a new hip piece or whatever it is. I'm going to do it through the way that my ancestors always did it, through being careful what I consume, eating for medicine, not taste, and walking lightly on the earth. Thank you very much.